So, if you don't know, Hyperia is the 2024 roller coaster for Thorpe Park, and this is going to be a bit of a weird addition for Thorpe Park because we don't really see many big, tall roller coasters be put in here. The tallest coaster that we've seen is Stealth, which is a intimate accelerator, as we think they are the highest, but there is a weird new thing that I'm thinking about, and that is, could Hyperia be a top 10 roller coaster? Let me tell you guys why it could and cannot in today's video. What's up guys, Cam here, and before we get into today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all of those notifications, and let's get straight into this. So Thorpe Park is a Thorpe Park is a theme park in the Great Britain, the UK, the Alton Towers place, and it is a theme park just around in that area, and it's built on an island, surprisingly, which is kind of cool in my opinion. But with that said, there is a lot that's going on with it, including their newest 2024 roller coaster, that is Hyperia. Hyperia is a mock hyper coaster that looks insanely cool, and we don't really have many mock coasters actually in the world. I mean, we don't really see a big mock hyper coaster being built that often, which is pretty cool. It's very nice to see a UK park getting this because they don't have many good tall roller coasters. I mean, the tallest that they have is the big one, which I personally think is pretty cool, but the big one is known to be pretty bad. But there is a lot that's going on, and there's a lot of hype around Hyperia. There's a lot of interest growing around it, and it's being claimed as the #2 best roller coaster opening in 2024, and now it's having me wonder, could this be top 10 worthy? So let's get straight into this. We're going to start off with the pros, and the pros of this ride is starting off that it's a hyper coaster. Hyper coasters are usually known to be pretty tall roller coasters. They're 200 feet, between 200 feet and 300 feet, which is pretty good in my opinion. And they're known to be pretty solid. I mean, the worst one is like a Big Apple coaster, but mainly this is being built by Mach, and Mach is well known for good hyper coasters, and hyper coasters are very well made. We've seen hyper coasters by Intamin, B&M, Vekoma, and all those other hyper coasters in the USA, and there's a lot that's good with hyper coasters. It's mainly like the push down version of a Giga, but that's just what I think. Let's get on to the #2 reason. The #2 reason is it's being built by Mach Rides. If we all don't know, Mach Rides is actually a really good manufacturer. They've built rides like Time Traveler and Helix, and from what I've heard, both are amazing rides. So Mach is like the new Intimate. It's innovative, and it's more of a launch style place and launch style manufacturer, and it's very good. Mach is known for its great roller coasters and its great theming on its roller coasters. Plus, it's very good to be built on more of a hill style terrain. As we know, they are prone to building good rides on more of hillsides, as we saw with Helix and Time Traveler, which I think is pretty good. But let's get on to the next one, and that is that Hyperia has a lot of airtime. Hyperia has a lot of airtime in its parts, and it has so much good inversions. It has good elements is what I'm thinking. It has a lot of airtime, good elements, and overall it just fits in very well. I mean, that slanted drop is actually gonna go so hard. I'm not even kidding. That's gonna be so cool to look at if you're from a distance or looking from a different place on around the island entirely. You can see Hyperia's twisted drop, and while you're riding, it's going to be going straight down, and it's going to be getting some amazing airtime, and yeah, that's the elements are good is what I'm trying to get to. But let's get on to our final one, and that is that this is a pretty small roller coaster. And why is this a pro? Well, you see, if this is a small roller coaster, they get to fit more roller coasters in there. I mean, Thorpe Park has Colossus, they have Stealth, they have other roller coasters. They have a lot of other good roller coasters in my opinion, and from the looks of it, a small hyper coaster is pretty good for the park, as they can fit like 3 more additions into the spot that a Diamondback style ride would go in. And I just think that a smaller ride overall is definitely the much better option for Thorpe Park. Now everyone, I want to tell you about some cons with this ride. Let's get on to the first con, and that is price. As we know, hypercoasters are pretty expensive. B&M's built like $15 million hypercoasters, and as we know, Mach as a manufacturer is a pretty expensive type of brand. It is a very not well known for its very cheap roller coasters, and as we know, Mach is not very cheap and stuff. What I'm getting to is that also they have some very smaller rides that can do other things. Like if they spend too much money on this, we won't see another edition for 3 to 4 years to Thorpe Park, and that really makes me disappointed to think about, because it seems like a really cool park overall, and it seems like it needs new additions yearly to keep up with the competition, mainly with Legoland Windsor and the new opening Epic Universe in Great Britain. But there is one more con that I would like to talk about, and that's the biggest con that some people are talking about, and that this ride is short. As we know, people don't like short rides, and I get it. Short rides do not give a lot of good experience to them, plus it gives a giant other perspective on things, and wait times get so high when you're on a short ride. Think about it. Wait times are going to be way too high. As we know, the operations are just going to be way weirder, and I think if it's a longer ride, they can fit 2 trains on it. But since Hyperia is such a short ride, they can only fit like 2 trains on it. They could probably fit like 3 on Diamondback, probably 4 maybe, because that's just how it rolls. But it's just going to be very bad for a short ride. It's just not going to be very good. As you know, I dislike short rides. That's why my favorite roller coasters are longer coasters, like Goliath and other rides. But that is just what I think on this topic. I want to know what you guys think. Will Hyperia be a top 10 or 20 roller coaster? Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all of those notifications. And I want to give some shout outs to some other people, mainly Thorpe Park, for this off-ride footage that I'm probably using, or POV. Whatever it is, it's more of a good thing for them to be allowing us to use this type of footage. And thank you for Kenobi Coasters and Airtime Thrills for their other off-ride footage. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!